There has been quite a bit of discussion this week regarding the change to FFG's organized play structure for 2019.
So we take a look at the recent Worlds updates and the results from last week's regionals.
We also seek to answer the question, is Darth Vader a terror to behold?
This is episode 116, A Terror to Behold.
You have been well trained.
No. You don't have to carry a sword to be powerful.
I won't fail you.
Or do not.
I'm not afraid.
Please don't try.
That was
All
funny.
right.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to another week of the Chance Cube live, where everyone is making fun of me based on my inflections in my intro. That's fine.
A terror.
It's fine.
So terrifying. It's terrific.
I am sleep deprived.
I wonder why.
I am too, but not for the same reason that you are.
That is true.
My noisy
yes.
neighbors were opening car doors at 2 a.m. and I don't know why.
I clopened, and I still have a child. I still have her.
Did you say you went clubbing? What did you just say?
Clopened? Clopen. Have you ever heard the term? I closed and then I opened at work.
That's how he was.
Clopen.
He was
I haven't been clubbing in years. And even when I did, it wasn't pretty. That's an image for another day.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So, yeah. You know, I have been watching a lot of Star Wars SD on YouTube, though. I have to say, I've been trying to keep up with what's going out there. If you haven't seen what's going on in the YouTube scene, Dice Commandos, a new group that's been out doing a lot of in real life streams of their local weekly tournament, which is greatly appreciated. There's not as much IRL stuff out there, and we'd love to do some more if, we had time.
I got a camera.
I've got a tournament to come down and check it out.
Oh, there you go.
Muffler Man number 1.
No, I would do it more, but it's on Saturday, and I always work on Saturday, which is a bummer.
That's a bummer.
It's like Saturday, now it's at 5:30, so I'd have to leave work early if I opened, which I never do because I'm like the new guy, so I always close. So I get to hang out with Chewbacca instead and dream of being at a tournament. That's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Dream of being one.
Seriously.
It's fine.
Kim, I hear you have thoughts about Ayla and Qui-Gon.
I do. So
Thoughts.
I read this article this week by Honestly Sarcastic put it out. And I found, and I think we were talking, I don't remember what all my soapbox was last week, quite honestly. But I think we were year in review and whatnot. So I think we were talking about different character pairings. And with this meta, we expected to see a lot of Vader. And so I was really surprised to see one of the most fairly recognizable competitive players in the game put together, take this to a regional, and it's, 20 some health, right? Isn't it like 21? If I did my math right, and I remember the article right.
I'm not sure,
but
to be honest. I'll have to look it
I
up.
can't remember. But so he managed to go 7-0 with this deck before he lost out in I can't remember. I think it was top 8. And I was there was a lot of scuttlebutt, I love using Jason's word, about Ayla. And I mostly just wanted to see what you guys kind of thought about this pairing, because this one was very surprising to me with such low health. And it did eventually succumb to a Vader deck that went on to win the whole thing. But surprisingly efficient this deck was with such a low health cost.
Yeah, I think people are generally resistant to point values below 27, 26. Good plot to slide in there. So, hey, more power to them, right? And of course, yeah. What about you, Mike?
By the way,
Destiny,
it's
Star Wars,
21 or 22, depending on which Qui-Gon you're pairing it with. Just to let you know.
Yeah, I think it was. I now that I think about it, I'm not sure, but I've seen the article floating around the webs, and I thought it's an interesting read, and I think it's just if you're not I don't know, I guess I looked at it from a player who doesn't always play meta decks and that kind of stuff. That hey, we're still in a meta. This deck is piloted by a very skilled player, but you can still take a good combo or a fun combo to a tournament, and if you tech with it enough,
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of pairings out there, you guys. Quit playing all the same stuff.
Well, it's
Maybe
still
that's
rotating
the-
for sure.
Yeah, when it rotates, this is gonna get.
Hey,
this
we
will be
haven't
fine.
heard from Mike in like 17 years, so let's let him talk about something.
17 years. It has definitely been at least that long. For me, I have been, like Jason, watching a lot on YouTube, and I have been playing, like I said before the break, I had been playing a lot with Vader, and Greedo was one of the pairings. I had played some, but not a lot. I didn't think it had the go, but clearly that is wrong. Yeah, and I've looked at the new deck lists, or the deck list that won, and it is, man, that deck is awesome. I can't wait to talk about it in a little bit. But other than that, Star Wars related, just been reading my comic books, and yeah, working on some voiceover stuff for a Star Wars project still, and that's
Cool.
about it.
No new art. You don't have any cool new art to show me yet.
I do. It's not framed and it's not in here, so
All right, fair
can't
enough.
show it yet. I got it last time I went to Disneyland.
That's on my list. That's on something that I'd like to try to find, like a cool piece of.
Disney World has so much more stores. But anyways, enough.
Speaking of which, I know it doesn't matter to any of y'all out there, but the three of us are going to be in the same place at the same time for the first time ever.
and it's not a
So they're all,
and it's not a Destiny thing.
Don't jinx me.
no, yeah,
Like,
they're
don't
all-
jinx the weather. Don't
We're all
jinx the
coming.
weather.
We're all
up
gonna convene in Disney World.
Yay.
Second week of February, I think, ish.
Yep.
So if anybody's around,
We'll do a
Yeah.
meetup. We'll
That's
do a
right.
Chance Cube meetup.
yeah,
It'll be fun.
at the Baseline Tap House at Hollywood Studios.
Oh, sounds good to me.
That's right.
I think I'm
Anyway,
the only one going to warmer weather, right? You guys are. I mean, Jason, you live there, so clearly.
it's cold to me right now, but that's like
Oh, no, it's
65
like-
degrees.
Oh, that's perfect.
It's raining here
That's
right now. It's
perfect.
been like pouring. So.
That's not fun. So can I ask you guys one more thing before we go into the news? This is somewhat of a segue to the news. We could segue to the news with this.
Can we segue
What do
to
you
the
think
news
of-
with this?
Yeah, segue to the news with that.
Let me take that back, huh? You'll find what you need.
Let's talk about some news. Let's start with that the World Championship.
Did you want to? I
news.
thought you were segueing into something, or did you? Like,
Well,
did we
I-
already do that?
No, you did. It's about the regional stuff. I'm just surprised. Like, I read this week that, and I wrote it down on our notes, but I'm not sure that that's where it is. So it's out west somewhere, and I'm not sure where. That they're putting a cap on the number of players, and I'm assuming that's just because of space of maybe where it's being held.
Oh, it's SoCal.
I think, but I'm not sure that it's SoCal.
It's
So
probably
don't hold me to that.
time related, to be honest.
That makes sense.
That's a long day.
It's a very long.
Um,
time.
Yeah, so there's been a talk recently. Of course, our friends over at Your Destiny have they put it on a Facebook post and said, "Hey, where's all the Destiny news from FFG?"
Blank the newspaper.
because-
I like that.
That was pretty funny. Headlines, nothing. But there was a little bit of news in their recent 2019 World Championship article. FFG seems to change their OP structure every 5 minutes. It was
Faster than they
not,
change
but
their-
with the release of Star Wars Destiny, they combined Star Wars into a Worlds and then everything else into a Worlds.
Mhm.
Now I guess, and this makes sense with the number of people who want to come to Destiny and can't because of the number of seats. They've like split them all out. We heard X-Wing was going to get their own. That was not news to us because they did kind of mention it in that bait and switch hyperspace report from this last Worlds Championship. But Star Wars Destiny is also going to get their own. Actually, everybody's going to get their own. What they've kind of done is taken Imperial Assault and Armada, which are two of their lesser attended games at Worlds, and they said, "Hey, Worlds going to be at Adepticon, so just come to that." And then
In
X-Wing,
Illinois.
X-Wing and Destiny are going to get their own. They didn't say when, except for fourth quarter, so that still gives us all some time. So we're going to actually spend probably a lot more time next show talking in detail about what this can mean for Destiny. But it is definitely an interesting choice. It's going to be with all of us thinking that we were kind of ramping up to a Worlds in May, and now it's delayed further. We'll have some words for that next year. I mean, next week, not next
I'm
year.
gonna make a list for next
Well,
week.
Kim, if you want to see Kim get like
Fired up.
very, very fired up and opinionated. Even though that's what we've come to know and love her for.
Kind of how I am all the time. Ask my coworkers.
But if you didn't hear about this, go check out the 2019 World Championship article. They've done this for all. Yeah, they've done this for all their Star Wars games. Again, interesting choice. So we'll see. We'll see what this does. And will it have impact across the rest of their OP structure? Those are questions we will try to answer next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess this does open the door for them to possibly allow for more formats at Worlds.
Hopefully more things, because if it's just going to be Destiny, then it
will.
would be hard to justify a trip up there to play in one event.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think a lot of I think that's probably the thing facing most players, because it seems like a lot of people, if you play one, you play more than one of these Star Wars games in most cases.
Yeah,
we have 3.
I mean,
all right, Jason, you're the exception, but I have 3 different versions Star Wars FFG games in my house. So
there were a fair number of people who either did Destiny X-Wing or did Destiny IA, and at some point they did so well in both of them that they had to choose which one they were going to go on to the next bit with it, which is that's a bummer.
Oh,
but now
the
you have
curse
to
of being a good player, but
now you have to make 2 trips to Minnesota,
or Illinois if you're going to Adepticon.
That's true. Well, you can go everywhere. Well, there you go. All the places, all the things. And Impulse is being cheeky, but that's what we come to expect. I like it. So we'll talk more about that in depth, about what that can mean for the game. But certainly that was a big surprise for all the competitive players out there who are already taking time off the first weekend in May, because that's what everybody was doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, at least maybe that gives a better chance to go, earn some money. I do have to say, the one kind of nice thing would be that they will have most likely a dedicated live stream to Destiny for the entire time, because they'll have nothing else to stream. So
yeah, I mean, and to be honest, it's pretty ambitious to just give a whole event just for Destiny. They're saying that they expect that many players to be showing up, which is a big thing. I mean,
yeah, they could support. I mean, they could reduce the number of days. We'll talk about it next week. So many possibilities. Regional updates. There were a lot last weekend. Lots of regionals.
There's a lot happening.
I was very pleased to see that Alabama and Connecticut and Michigan all drew in over 50 players. That's very promising for those. I mean, those are obviously big metas and big popular regions. Some of our overseas partners in places in Australia broke 10. Yay. UK had 38.
Yay.
So, you really have to look, I think, at the large attended events to see, to really start to look at a meta.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get some really creative ideas from the smaller ones of things that did fairly well. Vader Greedo, still at the top of a lot of these events. You see who popped in on a couple of occasions into some runner-up slots, into a winner slot maybe in Australia.
Oh, that Mother Dooku deck?
I was thinking Snoke's coming back a little bit.
Yeah, Snoke's sneaking back into some stuff, I'm noticing.
Yeah.
But I like that Mother. I like Mother Talzin's definitely made a couple appearans here.
Yeah, Talzin Dooku seems like a fun pairing that's right in my wheelhouse with the all blue. And, that's really how my favorite way to play Destiny is evil and all blue.
Nice. I'm curious about in that Alabama regional, one of the runner up was Vader Bazine.
Mm-hmm.
That seemed, that's blue yellow, right?
Yeah. So is Greedo. So you can kind of play a similar deck.
And
Greedo offered. Greedo offers you that. I mean, you generally don't get to fire off Greedo's effect. I mean, you can. He once he dies, you roll out his dice and can resolve whatever you see, which may not be much, maybe a little bit of a ping. Bazine doesn't come with any damage. She comes with a disrupt, a discard, and 2 shields for $1, and a special that says deal 1 damage to a character or 3 damage instead if that character has no damage on it. So
it's really that's probably what you're going for.
I mean,
it's 1 more health also. So
Oh,
That's something.
One more. That's probably the main driver, right? Because you get access to yellow again, and because yellow is really the one of the big deals there.
Yeah, Greedo really proved that his die sides are useful, and he's really the better choice. For
sure.
Yeah.
I do like the two shields
totally
on the Zine, though. You just take that every time and put them on Vader. So Vader just stays stacked.
That would help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iden Mother Talzin has come into play, kind of a vehicle villain deck with armored reinforcement. Villain vehicle deck.
Interesting.
With armored reinforcement, of course, armored reinforcement being the plot of choice for a lot of vehicle decks these days. Get out that heavy hitter and then try to mod it up to get some sweet damage, as they say. Looks like Mill is coming back into play too. With Michigan was won by none other than Andrew Cox's, or a variation of Andrew Cox's Yoda, Cassian, Anakin deck.
That's a good deck.
It's still solid. Obviously, fought through a field of 56 to win. So, and beat Vader Greedo.
Yeah, I'm almost more interested in some of these runner-ups because it's that the decks we kind of expect are winning, but some of these runner-up decks are not are just interesting. Like in Ontario, it's Yoda, Hired Gun, and Gungan.
I like seeing non-uniques from like Awakening show back up in these maps.
Yeah, because I'm looking at that going, man, the only thing that has much of a punch behind it is the Hired Gun.
How about Beckett Mother Talzin, runner up?
Yeah, that one's pretty. Yeah,
that's such an interesting pairing. I wouldn't even have thought. Let's see. Beckett.
Well, Talzin is the villain's Yoda, right? In a way. Yeah, you have to build your deck more specifically around it, but I mean, she does offer that control for you. So,
wow, and Beckett does have some good die sides. 2 range, 2 range for $1, 1 focus, 1 disrupt, and special. Take 1 resource from an opponent. If that opponent has no resources, gain a resource. So a resource side, basically.
Yeah.
Helpful.
So I just find it's like, so here's what we're seeing top, but then here's all these very unusual decks, like right there on the cusp of winning. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I wonder if just nobody saw the Vader Greedo coming, or it's just that strong.
It sounds like it's real. I mean, it sounds stupid strong.
Yeah, he popped it. Right, he started creeping up last week, and then this, of course, 1 week, and then all of a sudden everybody sees what's winning, and here we are.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see this coming weekend if everybody starts to tech against Vader Greedo, and something else comes into play, or everybody chooses to go with a Vader yellow build, blue yellow build.
Yeah.
Only time will tell. We'll find out this weekend when those regionals fire off and things happen.
Yep.
Of course, the holiday weekend, so it'll be interesting to see if that affects attendance at any of these, if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Semi-holiday weekend. Are you off on Monday, Kim?
I am off on Monday.
You're off on Monday. Am I off on Monday? No.
You
I'm never off.
Yeah, there's no such thing unless maybe if a hurricane comes through, but it's got to be pretty bad.
That's the only time we ever close. Hurricanes. Darn hurricanes. Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Any final thoughts on regionals coming up, or kind of regionals that have passed? Like I said, very very pleased with some of the attendance of these.
It's getting more steady.
Strong metas out there that are still bringing in 50+ players.
That's good to see.
That's great.
What I really like seeing is a lot of 2-wide. I've always liked playing 2-wide. I always thought 3-wide for me was a little tougher to play because it definitely needed more practice with 3-wide to learn your order of rolling in and just how to play it. So for me, I'm glad to see a lot of 2-wide, especially 2-wide Vader, because that's what I've always played is 2-wide Vader. So now it's good to see that he's on top again. Let's talk about Vader. What do you think?
Let's do it.
But
is he first, a terror?
A word from our sponsor.
Mike, I just can't seem to get the cards I need in the booster packs I bought. I'm still missing a Mother Talzin, a Darth Maul, and I need some more battle droids. That 5-wide droid deck isn't going to build itself, and I have all these extra Yodas.
Seriously, Kim, I told you, check out Armada Games. You can buy and sell Destiny cards on their website, shoparmada.com. It's just a few simple clicks and bam, you are done. I used it just the other day, and now I got two mall savers heading my way.
Hey, what are you guys talking about? We're in the middle of a break here.
Jason, you know how you've got all those extra cards from all those booster boxes you open? Mike says you can sell them online super easy.
No way, seriously? How? I've got to make room before this next set comes out.
Jason, whether you're new to the game or a seasoned vet, Armada Games has just what you're looking for. You can buy and sell your Destiny singles all from the comfort of your living room. Pre-order the latest sets of boosters and find the droids you are looking for. You can also check out their selection of Destiny accessories. And you'll get free shipping on orders over $75. For an even better deal, be sure to use the coupon code TheChanceCube and receive 5% off your Destiny purchase. Visit their website at shoparmada.com. Armada Games. Get in here and game.
But you know what I always say. Speak softly and drive a big tank.
So the question on everyone's mind, is Darth Vader a terror to behold? For anybody who I like to say living under a rock, or very casual players who aren't as familiar with this legendary villain character, who remind you that his die signs are 2 melee, 3 melee, 4 melee for $1, 2 shields, 2 resources, and a blank. He has a power action that says if one or more of this character's dice, if one or more of this character's character dice were removed during an opponent's last turn this round, discard a card from your hand to roll those dice into your pool. He has 15 health, and at Elite, he's played with 23 points. Most recently, he's often been combined with Greedo or another yellow squishy character to allow access to cards such as friends in high places, friends in low places. He doesn't like you, bait and switch. And if you're feeling really frisky, a dark saber.
For sure, a dark saber, at least one copy.
Yeah.
So we do have, if you're watching this via video or live, we thank you for watching live. Thank you very much, everyone in the chat. We have the up on the screen, the winner of the Connecticut Regional from this last weekend, as a sample deck list of what Darth Vader Greedo can do. I would say, just right off the bat, one of the interesting things is there was a lot of talk about how do you play against Darth Vader and Greedo, and everybody's like, play coercion, because almost every Vader Greedo deck was running Shiitake mushrooms. Why did I just forget that card?
Running shiitake mushrooms. I don't know that card. What set is that from?
We should get that one added for sure.
Kill Vader fast. Yes, definitely. That's a good. That's the way to play it.
Price of failure. Thank you.
Thank you, Impulse. Jason's head was starting to there was a vein, and
so a lot of folks were saying play coercion, because if they're holding on to a price of failure where they intentionally kill off Greedo to reset Darth Vader and roll in his killer dice yet again, of course, basically, this is, you hate to use the word simple, because there are lots of lines of play, I think, when it comes to Darth Vader Greedo, but Darth Vader and Greedo, or at least Darth Vader plus anything, is simply a throw some upgrades on them, roll them out, and hope you hit something big. There's very little, aside from bait and switch, which is the main reason why the yellow's in there. Even then, you can only bait and switch one of Darth Vader's sides, but that's a nice one to do. If you get to pull it off.
Yep.
And then, friends in high places to help get Vader's fist out, because friends in high places, if you have a dice showing a combined value of 7 or more, which is easy to do with Vader, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and play one of those cards for free, which would be great if Vader's fist was one of the next 3 cards.
Right.
Stupid support Vader's fist. So really,
that's what you're hoping for, right?
Stupid dice on the table, and that are challenging to mitigate, because Vader will just toss a card from his hand and roll it back out again.
Yeah, for sure. The problem I see, though, is that a lot of these cards, you don't really want to pitch them to reroll, but there's a lot of focus and control in these cards. like Beguile, Fear and Dead Man. Like, there's like a lot of cards here that are just that you'd rather play than discard. So that's always kind of a thin line to walk, because you definitely need to pitch to reroll, especially to use like the Vader's Fist or the Vader's power action. Like, it's just kind of tough. But this deck looks like it'd be very fun to play. And like you said, Jason, easy is probably not the nicest word for it, but I mean, once you get out Vader's Fist, once you get out force speeds to where you can use these cards that don't already have ambush on them, and you can use them with the force speed sides, so you get 2 actions. It's very quick, and it puts out a ton of damage. 4 for $1, and you're getting 2 resources every turn. So in theory, that's 8 damage every turn just off of Vader before anything else. So
now, in all fairness, this is not a cheap deck. This is if you're a casual player, you've gotten a box, or maybe you're getting packs every now and then. Almost every dice card but 3 in this particular build is a legendary, and a lot of these cards are from previous sets, which are going to rotate out, which will make this deck less effective in the future. Deflect is a card that's come back into style, if you can say that, recently, with the rise of more range heavy decks, especially the vehicle decks that are almost exclusively range. Deflect is a way to play against those. Darth Vader has the power in him to go against those vehicle decks. And the order of play doesn't matter as much with him as it would maybe say in a different type of deck, where activating things in the right order and sequencing cards in the right order is critical. And then of course they've gotten smart. They've taken out Price of Failure, because so many people have started playing Coercion to coerce that out, to try to force you to kill Vader. Now that's forget it. Just rise again if you can.
The only issue, clearly you need to roll Greedo out first, I think, because he can threaten with that 2 side, so you can kind of maybe get some mitigation out of the way before you roll Vader's dice in. And you can use it you can focus that die to get rid of other dies or something like that. So I just don't see how you're making money, though. That's a big problem for this deck. Besides the meditation chamber, right?
I mean, you're hoping.
Sorry, not the meditation chamber. That's 1 damage.
That's a heal card. Well, Thieves Royal Palace, right? That is also I think that's a battlefield that's becoming very. That's a battlefield that's becoming very popular right now, because as long as you control it, you can power action for a resource. So if you and Darth Vader is going to win the roll off.
Oh,
unless you're Kim Breeze and roll blank, the Darth Vader is going to win the roll off, because his dice sides don't drop below 2.
Right.
So if you don't get blanks, you're at least going to get 4 plus Greedo, at least hopefully 5, and that's going to
30% chance of a 2. Pretty good.
So that's
pretty good. Yeah.
Do really well. So you'll likely get that additional resource on the first turn, and then you can afford any of the upgrades except for the Darksaber. And even then, I mean, who knows? I would love to see the games where this deck doesn't do well, and what caused it. Is it the dice just weren't cooperating, or is there I guess that's the question. Is Darth Vader only good when he's rolling well, or is there a way to smartly play around bad rolls to make him do well?
I think there is.
That's a good question.
Like Beguile is one way. What is it? He doesn't like you? No, let's remove one of yours to remove an opponent's.
I mean, there's not much dice control on. I mean, there's not much of aside from bait and switch. There's really nothing that changes your own dice, and even then, you have to roll a resource. So it really is you got to pitch to reroll to get something good if you're not getting anything good.
And Beguile's 2 resources. I don't think you really want to play that. Same with Fear. Yeah, it's definitely expensive to play as well. The 2 Rise
guess that
Again
is
is interesting. How are you getting the resources for Rise Again? While still paying all these while still paying Vader's die sides. What else? Dark State? No. I guess that's only pay side, huh? But then still getting all your upgrades out and paying for your events.
Upgrades out, yeah.
So.
Right. Well, if you're fast enough to control the battlefield every turn, you can get that extra resource.
Yeah.
Power action for it. Power action for the extra resource does slow you down, so you have to kind of plan for that. But you're right. A lot of these heavy hitter decks do tend to starve themselves for resources. So, can you play normal Vader plus Snoke? I guess that'd be kind of stupid, wouldn't it?
What? That'd be 2 die.
You could play Elite Snoke Vader, right? Because he's 12 points now. 12 Elite plus normal Vader would be 12 plus 8, 12, 18.
Yeah, you're still getting the Force side, but it'd be easily controlled. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be an interesting pairing. I think there's still a lot of pairings out there for Vader that can work. I don't know where it is. We talked about Bazine. Just there's no other damage output. But really, Greedo 1 die. I don't know. You're just looking for that 2 side basically. Interesting. I definitely think Vader is a terror to behold, especially in this combo right now.
Right now, yeah.
If it wins,
I have to agree.
If it wins too much more, there's gonna be a nerf for sure.
And
it's gonna be a point cost because you can't taking away Vader's power action's not really gonna. Well, let's rolling it back in. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I wonder how much his power action is crucial to winning these games.
I haven't.
It does force you to ditch a card from your hand, so that is cripple you a little bit to make that decision.
I can see that. I mean, that's what Mill wants. I mean, I just don't think Mill has enough to you. I mean, I feel like Mill would have a chance, but I don't think there's enough Mill that moves fast enough to get Vader before Vader would get them.
I did think there was one event where the Mill deck, the Gen Con Mill deck, did topple Vader Greedo. And I think you have a point, right? So Vader, to use his power action, has to discard a card from his hand, which is really what feeds into Mill's power. So if Mill has enough control to deal with those high-powered dice, of course the problem is, if Vader rolls well, it doesn't take much to kill those squishy characters that a Mill deck tends to have. Especially the 3 wides. So you have to that's the Mill deck's got to play really smart to get around this, and it's possible. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the answer to Vader come up in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Sure,
because he still feels like if I don't roll well, I'm just going to pitch to reroll until I get something good kind of deck.
That's how Vader's always been played, though. Even old Vader, that's how you played him. It was like a Boba Fett deck. You just played or Jango Fett deck. You just played fast and pitched to reroll until you hit those high numbers and then resolve. So that's his style. He doesn't care about collateral damage. He's Vader.
That's true. That is true. So I think for now he is until the community finds a way around him, which there's always, like in Jurassic Park, life always finds a way.
It's going to be 3 wide and it's going to be some sort of sustained deck. They can just outlast, I think.
I think that's is outlasting. Yep.
So maybe 3 wide mill of some sort, like the Gen Con deck. No.
It has some legs maybe to be more consistently topple Vader's wrath.
Yeah, but again, those that Gen Con deck is not an easy deck to play. So it's most 3 wide mill is going to be very tough to play. It's a lot of smart choices, and you got to make smart choices all day.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're not going to be able to just go out and pick up a deck and sit down at your local group and beat Vader with it.
Right.
It's going to have to be something that you become familiar with.
Right.
Make good choices.
All right. Well, I think that's about.
We need a version of deflect for melee. That's all we need.
Yeah.
That would do it.
That would help.
Do it.
I mean, maybe it's coming. We don't know.
Right.
I'm trying not to sneeze.
Don't sneeze.
Well, anywho, I think so. Does that answer the question? Are we saying that for the time being he is terrible, or a terror? I should say.
Yes.
See, a terror is terrible.
He's a terror.
He's obviously not terrible. No, he is the consensus is he's a terror.
Yeah, he's.
And we will continue to behold him until he does. As long as he's consistent, if he stays consistent on these regionals over the next few weeks, I do think. Okay, here's my last question: does this pairing survive rotation? I mean, yes, these characters survive rotation, but does this deck?
So you lose.
Does it have enough? Does it have enough tools?
Yeah, that's the question. How much do you?
Speed.
Well, and you don't know what's coming to replace what's. I mean,
Right.
that's.
You'll lose Force Speed. You'll lose Force Illusion. You'll lose the Ancient Lightsaber.
Force
Bait and
losing
switch.
Force Illusion on any deck's gonna be big, I think.
Right, you're losing bait and switch still too. Spirit.
Bait and Switch. Close Quarters Assault was reprinted, I believe. You'll lose Deflect.
Deflect.
That'll hurt.
Friends and High.
Yep.
He doesn't
That'll
like,
go,
you.
yep.
Like you.
Hidden Motive. Oh no, Hidden Motive. It was. Yeah.
Rivals.
Think-
Head Overconfidence. You lose.
And
Rise again, you lose. So a lot of this deck's existing event tech. I wonder if the yellow becomes not important, and you find a different pairing for him in the next once. What's the next set called? Coercion? Nope.
That's the name of the card. we talked about
Consequential.
earlier.
Conflicted.
Money
Versus
bag.
Constantinople.
I almost
Yeah,
said money
right.
grab, but I didn't.
You could say it. It's okay.
Yeah. You can. No, it's all good. So Vader may survive, but this particular deck, I think, will disappear.
Yeah, it's really going to depend on what we see. You're not going to get that exact card, but do you find one that has similar abilities? Which we've seen them do a lot. Like, oh, this is this card, only a little bit better. So that's yet to be seen.
Here's a random thought. If FFG's listening, why don't you combine two sets, put it into one? So one set is like 300 and something cards, and you do it and you deliver it half the time. And there's more variety in the packs. So you're not just getting doubles and quadruples of the same card, especially the dice card. That might be, and it won't be such a cash grab.
That would be true.
Put me
My
on the
12 copies of it was one of the commons.
Meditation.
It was some kind of armor.
Anyways,
some kind of armor, plastoid
Thermal armor. It came out with Sabine. I can't think of what the card was, but I know I have 15 of those.
well, we
Anywho.
as we always do with our episodes, before we air our episode, we ask you guys what your thoughts were. So let's go ahead and answer our question for the week.
There can be no mistakes this time.
So since we were talking about Vader this week, we ask you all, is Darth Vader a terror to behold? As good as his regional results seem to dictate. And you guys had some thoughts out there, which is nice. Danny Adlam from 3-Man Meta, they've been a little quiet over there across the pond past few weeks, but he chimed in and said, just like Awakenings, wins tournaments, but not top of the meta. And I feel like that's kind of like what we were sort of saying.
Didn't Awakenings Vader win Worlds that first year?
It might have. Maybe they weren't there. I don't know.
Does
I'm
he?
trying to read some of these answers right now. Some of them, You guys got to check your grammar so I can read it. I don't know what I'm saying.
Man, there's nothing worse than like getting a good thought out there and posting it and then realizing that like autocorrect just made you sound like a It happens to me all the time.
I have a feeling too some of it might be translated or
it could
language. So.
Just Hugh says he seems as good as he should be to me, winning but not.
I mean,
so that's a good point. I mean, that kind of fits into the idea that he's winning a lot. You'd be curious to see how many where is the span of Vader Greedos in a tournament. So be curious to look at that 64 person, and is Vader Greedo like always at the top 30, or is he spread across the whole field?
Yeah. Well, James here mentions that he wins a lot, but in his particular experience, it seems that those losses Vader does get are less dependent on what Vader's opponent does and more dependent on Vader's dice just not rolling optimally.
Kim, do not play this deck.
Nope, definitely not the deck for Kim. No. Not a Kim deck. I need to roll well. That's not happening. But I think we were asking that, is it earlier in the discussion, and it's, at least this is, one person's perspective and all, but we kind of thought that if Vader doesn't roll hot, does the deck kind of falter and give way for somebody to take it down?
We're all staring at the one answer that's like an essay. Are we going to read it?
I'll read it.
You can.
Zachary Shields says, "Yes, mitigation is the best curve." Relax, Kim. Yes, mitigation is the best tool to curve the damage of better than average rolls and deal with an advanced board state. Vader removes that power, making its card for card trade. He reduces the effectiveness of most of the staple cards and mechanics we are used to control a battle. Combine that with his tank HP, heavy sticks, and 2 resource side, and some sexy ass artwork, and you have yourself a tier 1 card. Thankfully, they PT'd his dice and corrected the power action and his ability to give him a reasonable limitation beyond the normal rolling like crap. Thanks for your answer, Zachary.
I think Zachary is very passionate about this card. Or at least he's thought this through.
Yeah, he's definitely thought it through, and it is so tanky. He is. He's a force to be reckoned with.
He is. Well, of course, we love the answers that we get over on our Facebook page. Always try to check that out. We do post a question once a week. It feeds into our topic for the following week, unless something really crazy happens and we change everything up at the last minute. And in this plethora of news right now, it's not going to happen. So I'm pretty sure what we plan on talking about will happen.
Like 4 articles are going to drop.
As always, thanks to everyone who came to watch the show live. We are here on Twitch every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central, and it's way too late in the evening for anybody in Europe to come and watch the show live. However, I wouldn't put it past you. We've seen Claus come over here when he's like jet lagged or whatever.
Yeah.
He has chimed in a couple of times.
If you're watching via YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you're listening via Apple Podcasts, please give us a review. And if you want to head over to Twitch and you are an Amazon Prime member and give us your free sub, we greatly appreciate it. It helps support the content here at this channel. We've got some cool stuff happening this year. It's going to trickle in as the year goes by, but for now, we're happy to be here every week and talk about some Star Wars Destiny with you guys.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
This week's question: what effect will the update to the World Championship have on Star Wars Destiny? Head over to facebook.com/thechancecube and leave us your comments. Let us know your thoughts. And if you don't like Facebook, you can email us, mike@thechancecube.com.
I respond to all emails.
Even the contact@thechancecube.com, or Kim or Jason. We're all there.
I'm really curious to know. This is the one, like, I want to see a bunch of answers. I want to really hear what you guys think about this.
And if you're not a competitive player, we'd love to know if you think this is going to affect your way of playing Destiny in any way. If you would even attempt to go to Worlds if it was just a Destiny event they said it's open to the public.
Yeah.
So just let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear it.
Love it.
That being said, everybody have a great week, and we will see you next week.
On the flip side.
This has been The Chance Cube, a Star Wars Destiny podcast, a non-profit organization dedicated to building community through gaming. Visit our website for all things Star Wars Destiny, including our price watch, meta tracker, and latest articles from the Chance Cube family. Find our latest videos on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit us at patreon.com/thechancecube. Your patronage allows us to grow this program and help us give back to the gaming community by sponsoring events, giveaways, and supporting our own community building initiatives. This is Mike Hill, the voice of the Chance Cube. Thanks for listening. The Chance Cube is not affiliated with Fantasy Flight Games, Lucasfilms, or the Walt Disney Company.